But got to be a way it could be done. If it's almost impossible, that means there's something that can be done to make that possible.
Yeah.
It's called alchemy. You can
Right.
alchemize something back to its original, but you can't do it in 3D.
Right.
You have to do it in the 4D, 5D.
Right.
And when you come back to 3D, you got a whole fresh egg all over again. They call
That's
it
right.
turning back time.
That's right.
But you don't literally have to turn back time. You go back through time in the memory. You're a time traveler whether you want to know it or not.
Right.
Because your bloodline in the past is talking to your bloodline in the future, and you just the answer in the middle.
Right.
That's thinking. Your bloodline from the past is talking to your bloodline of the future. And you
Right.
just the messenger in the middle between the two.
That's deep.
And that's why people become oh man, you prophesy. No, it's not prophecy. It's listening. Then pointing out what you see.
Right.
It just if it happened, that's convergence. That's not prophecy. Right? That mirror that John D had gave birth to a program of the US military called Operation Looking Glass. It's now declassified. You can ask AI what was Operation Looking Glass, and it was the ability for them to use systems of probability to determine future outcomes in the course of events.
Yeah, and they got it at the Scottish Rites Lodge in Washington D.C. The Scottish Rites Grand Lodge at D.C.
Right. Well, I wonder why it would be in the Scottish Rite Lodge.
Yeah, Grand Lodge. And look, Rob, when they invite you to bring you up to that degrees, they say you got to make a reasonable donation. And guess what the reasonable donation is? $50,000.
Who is it reasonable to?
That's what I'm saying. $50,000 a reasonable donation. It's not
reasonable. But you got to pay attention because knowledge is power. Mm-hmm. If you're paying for knowledge, you're paying for power.
Go ahead.
Right. The only way to activate it is you need something called wisdom, where you can't activate the knowledge to maximize its output.
Right. Right.
The more you know, the further you go. You heard that one, didn't you?
Yeah. The more you go, the further you go.
Yeah. What was the United Negro College Fund? A black mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Yeah, Marcus Garvey.
Right. So it's telling you all of the secrets in the open. Because that means that the key to your redemption is in your self-education, not the education by the system. Why? Because history is written by the victors. If you ain't coming from the victor standpoint, then you won't never understand history. But if you come from the one who was victimized standpoint and still feel like the victim, you're going to remain victimized. Because you're not going to fight for what's right because you've already been relegated to the learned helplessness of a victim. You got to think like a conqueror if you want to conquer. You can't think like a neighbor if you want to be a conqueror. Right? But everybody ain't got to know what you're thinking.
Right.
So the greatest conquerors can conquer from the mind and then let the effect manifest on earth. They call him an armchair revolutionary because they don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right. So he's sitting back in the chair and he's talking to people in the public domain as Degrees told the story around the fires that night. Right. And the people sit down at the open fire pit and they listen to the grid and he's singing and dancing and telling the story. And then when he get done, he taught them a whole bunch of stuff that they didn't even know they was learning. Right, because he's bypassing the faculty of ignorance. In order for ignorance to be effective, you have to have a system to reinforce the person's ignorance. Today, we call it cognitive dissonance. If you can control what they do with their cognitive dissonance, you can control how they react to the knowledge. But if you can't control the impact of when somebody first received a new piece of information, then you can't never stop them from learning higher forms of information. The only difference between the king and the peasant is class, character, and etiquette. Right? They can be from the same bloodline, but if one put in the work and another one don't, one more qualified than the other one. But just because you're from the same blood don't automatically make you entitled. And that's why they used to have to give you a title, a noble title, to represent your noble character that you come from a bloodline of noble ones. Right? So then they drew a picture, and then you understood that the Ali was the highest you could go. That's an Ottoman thing. Byzantine kings.
Yeah, that's right. Talk about that in the Doc actually break that down in the Let's Set the Record Straight book. He talk about how the titles that existed before that were L, but still those it comes down to them same people because it's coming down to the 200 fallen. They was the Ottoman Empire, the Etruscans, the Romans, all them connected in the same boat. You know what I'm saying?
And what's the demigod, Elder?
A half man, half God, I guess. So that's the
what they.
definition they give.
Okay, now look. What do semi mean?
Semi means like halfway, almost.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what do demi mean?
Like a
can't mean the same thing. They different sequences.
Yeah. Demi, like it's like a dim light. It's like a lesser it's like a lesser potent of what, like saying darkness versus dark. You know, dark is dark, but then you got darkness, which is a lesser form of dark, really, because dark has a little bit. Darkness still has a little bit of light involved in it.
Let me go look it up.
Yeah.
This comes from the root word demo.
There you go. There you go. Hey, y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, man. We live, we lit. We got something coming out every day for you. We don't stop. We don't quit. Right now, we're breaking down the American blood timeline, though. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the demigod is a Democrat.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Because the Democrat comes from demo, the same word.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And crack or crassy means government.
Yeah.
Or administration of government. Demi means devil.
Yeah.
Demi means devil.
Demon cracks.
Yeah. Hey, you know who did a break? You know, I think about it. Who did a breakdown on that? Farrakhan.
Yeah. Yeah. That's dope. Shout out Mr. Louis Farrakhan, man. Yeah, it's one of my guys.
What Chuck D say? And for the minister of Farrakhan, who tell me that you understand until you hear the man.
Nigga Farrakhan said, he said, don't you ever open your goddamn mouth to call me no anti-Semite. I said, damn, Farrakhan be telling that boy be talking, man. That boy talk major, boy.
How you doing?
Good. I heard you say Alafia. You know that song, Finger Alafia?
How it go?
I don't want to sing it, but it was in the Lion King, the first Lion King. But it's a greeting song.
Okay, that's what's up. Well, yeah, the word, you know. Like
well, since you brought it up, I might as well make mention. So that song is ancient. Every time we come to the end of the 4 cycles, they start rewriting that song in a different language. That's to welcome the ancient ones back.
Listen, we here now. Like, for real. I've been saying that.
Everybody waiting on us to come flying. We came back through the womb.
Yes, sir.
We can't get here no other way. It's only one entrance.
Yes,
Uterus.
Yes, sir. Big Fox. Listen, it's so dope because when we spoke Thursday, right? I had my live was set up, you had a live set up, and it was, I'm gonna tell you what's like astounding. Is like after we spoke that day, whenever we spoke to lock in today, I went back and I was watching yours, the one you did that night. And bro, when I tell you we both was talking about some of the same, you went way further, you know, with what you was talking about, but we was talking about some of the identical, literally the identical topics. And we didn't talk about none of that on that first call. You know what I'm saying? When we first got introduced and connected. So I'm like, you talk about divine alignment, bro. I was watching yours. I'm like, yo, this is crazy because I just released that live, I think yesterday. We was talking about a lot of stuff we're gonna get into today. So with that, man, I can't wait to go there because I already know what this is about to be. It's gonna be another one of them ones.
So let's get into it then. Where you want to start?
Listen, I want to start with the what's going on with the dirty Moors. Let's talk about the Black Pope. You know, the Black Pope is, I've been saying that for a minute on this channel, but we really about to go in on that and what that relates to. But can you kind of share, just before we go, for those who are new on the channel who might not know your work yet, can you just kind of share with the tribe how you got into, you know, being who you are now, like your journey and your path into being, you know, who and what you are as a healer, as a teacher, as an awakener, you know, all the things that you do.
Well, I started off from a child getting instructions from my big mama, Mother Margaret, and my mama. My mama used to teach me stuff and counsel me on stuff. And I didn't know at the time that I would need it at this time. So I've been being primed to do this work from birth or before. And once I came home from prison, I did 16 years. Once I came home from prison, I had learned so much from studying in there over the 16 years that I wanted to help. Everybody shut their door in my face. Right? So I come back, I started working, you know, I was working at GM, but the straw that broke the camel's back was the contract negotiations that I left on. I can't stand to watch somebody with more power abusing people just because they can and not say nothing. And my work family was being bullied. So they were doing negotiations in the midst of a federal corruption investigation. And I was trying to inform the people I work with that that's not a good faith negotiation. All parties are not coming to the table in good faith. Well, this triggered me to be like, y'all don't want to listen. I'll go out here and I'll find somebody who will. And this began my journey right after my mother passed. I just couldn't take it no more. I had the overwhelming internal drive to stand up for the collective, which was the collective tribes of the Earthborn. In this process, I began to follow the oral traditions of the tribes, which is you don't have to tell nobody, just put it in the public domain, and the people that's supposed to get it gonna eventually get it. And they're gonna discuss it among themselves, and then they're gonna know if you telling them the truth or not. And if you telling them the truth, you make all of the tribal traditions actionable by just following the tribal tradition. I'm not following the patriotic conditions of United States Corporation, Admiralty, Maritime Jurisdiction, masquerading as a government to enslave the people of the land of Turtle Island that I am from, organic Mississippi clay dirt walking. So somebody got to say something. everybody don't have to do something, but somebody got to bring to light the problem, cause, and the solution. And so that's what I've been doing over the last 5.5, 6 years, is putting in the public domain the whole parameters of this fraud and how to get from under it. The information is more valuable than anybody can pay for. I give it away for free because my brother and sister bought all the books already. So it's already paid for. It's prepaid information in my head. I just have to organize it, simplify it, and put it in the public domain for the rest of the members of each collective tribe to have access to the information. But it's also notifying the system, the government, the fake government, notice the agent being notice the principal, that their time is up. Our time is now. They need to find somewhere to be because they can't be here. So that's where we at in this journey. And I've been periodically mapping what is being done in the Washington Military District or the District of America, whatever one they're using right now. But I've been telling people what they so-called president is doing, because it looked one way, but it is actually something else taking place. It's the liquidation of a corporation. They can't liquidate the corporation without auditing the assets, because when they surrender the corporate holdings to the rightful heirs of the land, they got to know what they're giving you. They got to know where all of the money was going and who was stealing it, who wasn't stealing it. They need all that have to be accounted for. So we watching the dismantling of the corporation, but that it's not going to be as traumatic to the people as many people believe. So that's the short version of my.
Got you. Nah, that's powerful. But the thing about it is, there's so many different things that I feel like you touched on that I've touched on before, but I want to like I say go a lot deeper, because the way that I see it is right now we have, which is like you were saying earlier, we're in a transformation, or we're going through another cycle, right? So we're going from a lunar cycle into a solar cycle. We're going from the Piscean age into the Aquarian age. But so we're talking about there's a cosmic shift, a solar shift going on, as well as a planetary shift that's going on, as well as the shift in consciousness that's going on. So it's like a recipe for success for us to be where we are now. And I was checking out the video you did, I think it was Thursday or Friday, Brother Young Elder's channel, and you was breaking down the different processes that's already kind of taken place that we're seeing come to fruition, you know, within our very eyes, but don't know, like the things that's tied to that. So for example, excuse me, can you kind of tap into the agreement that I think was made in like 2014 or whatever it was? It was like a transaction that happened in 2014 when the Pope reached out to Obama.
The Obama letter from the Pope was telling him to dismantle the corporation.
Got you. Can you kind of tap into that?
Yeah, so he was telling them in the letter, dismantle the corporation. Everything that the Pope or the Vatican was tied to in the corporation masquerading as our government, he was given the commander-in-chief at the time, Barack Obama, who was an imposter in office, the instructions to dismantle the structure and give it back to the people from the land, because we were occupied. Most of us don't know that we live in an occupied, militarized zone, the whole Turtle Island. All of those countries came over here and they attacked us. We didn't attack them. We was minding our own business. Everybody, history started in 1492 over here.
Yes, sir.
So I always asked her, what the hell was we doing in 1491? Was we doing any of this in 1491? We had no Bible. We had no Quran. We had no Torah, no Mishnah, no Talmud. But we was high functioning society until they bombed us into oblivion. So this is the return of the ones with the birthright to restore order as caretakers of the land across the land. The first thing we had to do is get rid of the occupiers, the foreign forces that's masquerading as our government and our big business, and take it all back. This is what the whole tariff thing is about. The tariff thing is about all them corporations was shipping jobs overseas, and they was trying to raise the inflation rate on the currency by raising the value of worthless shit they sell us. So the tax the people and send the money to everybody around the world. We not benefiting from it. Somebody got to show it to us. We wasn't benefiting from it. If you look at all of the tax money that they accounting for, they didn't found trillions of dollars that they got to give us back. I didn't say it; they did.
Yes, sir. Now, when you say that, where did they say it? Because that's the thing. There's a lot of stuff being said and done, but it's done almost in secrecy. But it's small little, cracks of information.
Both Elon Musk and Donald Trump have identified what they call misappropriated assets. Trump said it, put out his own mouth. That we doing this for who? The people. We don't know that in the tribal tongue, almost every tribal name translates as the people or kinfolk. We don't know that because we lost our culture through this miseducation system. They told us a history narrative that's devoid of us. They don't even count us in the history record. They literally ignored us out of history and erased us out of history, but we still here.
That part, we here now. Yes, yeah, that's deep. So when it comes to what we're seeing now in regards to, let's talk about Turtle Island, right? Can you kind of break down, describe like what Turtle Island is? I'm not sure how many people that's watching know what Turtle Island is or what the rest of Turtle Island is.
All of the land they call Canada, all of the land they call the United States and Mexico, all of the islands that's in the Gulf of America, all of what we call South America, all of that collectively with Greenland makes up Turtle Island.
That's deep. And within Turtle Island, how does that tie back to the years before 1492? Because after, we know what happened when the invaders came, but can you kind of share the real, I guess, the real owners of the land and like who those people were? Some people may say the Olmekians, some people may say, like, who were the original people who were here prior to 1492?
The old Mississippians is the oldest tribe on the land. The Washita Dongdamounja that Empress Verdiasi talk about, the mound builders, those